Did you watch this?
I did.
Your thoughts, and I'll give mine.
So what's on the screen right now is what's called Death by Lightning. This is about the assassination of James Garfield, and then it's a split story between him and his assassiner, the person who kills him. First off, I thought it was very, very well done. About a president that not very many people talk about.
Yeah.
Also, I enjoyed...
Because he was president for 3 months.
Well, but also the way he became president was kind of odd.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Very, very odd way he became president. And they talk about it in the thing. So, spoiler alert, if you haven't talked about it, if you haven't watched it yet, I highly do encourage it. But he gets assassinated.
It happened in
at the
1881.
end.
I don't think you can say spoiler alert.
I'm going to spoil it for you. He dies in the end. Okay. So the first episode, do you want to go episode by episode or just talk about it as a whole?
I'll just talk about it as a whole, but you can talk about episode by episode.
So I really liked how they showed at the very beginning how the nominations are done. We're done in 1881. I really, really liked that. I also liked how they showed the corruption that went into it as well. Those are all well documented. That's all well documented stuff that actually did happen. And so I think that by showing this, it's also opened the door on, this is kind of on the back end of this conversation, but it also opens the door for other historical narratives that need to be told.
Yes.
Like you talk a lot about the Civil War. We talk a lot about World War I. We talk a lot about World War II. Really, we don't even talk about World War I that much. But like, there's this whole 50 to 60 year gap that we don't talk about. And like the characters that they had in this movie were fantastic. I guess not a movie, it's a series. It was a four episode limited series.
Right.
I also liked how they showed the tragedy of, God, the guy who assassinated him? What's his name?
Charles Guiteau.
Charles Guiteau. Like, I liked how you just saw that arc, the story arc that went into his. Like, even if you had just, I kind of wish what they, did you watch the other one that just came out about the nuclear bomb that was sent over? How the, God.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's a incoming missile and it's a reaction time.
Yes.
What is, it's also on Netflix.
Yes.
But I forget what it's called.
But like how they told the story from one angle,
Yeah.
and then like 45 minutes in, they went to another angle, and now it's kind of making the connection. If they had done that with this, that would have been just as good. But
it would have been interesting.
I did understand why they didn't do that, because if you don't know who Guiteau is and you don't know who Garfield is, it's really difficult to connect those dots.
Right.
I also liked how the characters that they crossed paths with. Now my brain is gonna go. Is it W. Du Bois? No, it is. Du Bois is the one who he interacts with about slavery, episode 2 or 3.
Yeah, W.B. Du Bois, and then also keep talking.
So, anyways, just the character arcs that they come across and that they cross paths.
Frederick Douglass
was
also in there too.
By the way, the character choice on that, fantastic.
Yes.
And so just how they interacted with each other, and how Guiteau really felt like he knew Garfield and those people that he was interacting with, and really he didn't. He had convinced himself that he knew those people, and he had no idea who they were.
Yes.
And they had no idea who he was. So overall, like I always look at things like this from a historical perspective, very accurate as far as I can tell of the books that I've read and research that I've done about Garfield. I didn't know a whole lot about Guiteau until I saw this, and then I did a little research on him. But just a tragedy all the way around.
I liked it. I really love good historical documentaries that are told well. I enjoy getting background. You know, if you watch just a documentary, a lot of times it's just like, these are the facts, ma'am. You know, and it's this happened, then this happened, then this happened. This one, it goes back and forth a little bit. You back up 10 years, you come back forward a little bit. I like when someone can take a documentary, basically, and tell a good story. Something else that was notable to me that I appreciate, you know, it's not a very well-known president. He was only president for 3 months. A lot of people don't know the story through the primary of how he became president, and that's a really, really cool part of the miniseries. But the cast was great. They had some heavy hitters. Like, sometimes when you get these documentaries, you get just a bunch of people who really can't act, and maybe like one who's a veteran actor, right? But Michael Shannon, who like 12 Strong. He's been in a few. You would know him if you look him up. You can't tell as much who he is because he plays Garfield. He's got the beard. You can't really see who that is, but you'll know the actor if you look him up. He's been in a lot of things. Plays Garfield, and then Matthew McFadden plays Charles Guiteau. And if you watched Succession, he is Shiv's husband in Succession.
Yes.
He is an amazing actor. I've seen him in a few other things, and I'm glad to see him doing other stuff because he was a great actor. You had Nick Offerman playing Chester Arthur. That was a great character.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of Bradley Whitford, being a West Wing fan, plays Senator James Blaine from Maine. James Blaine from Maine.
Yep. And those characters, too, like, we forget how important those people are in the government.
Yes. Well, and just like right now, we're living through current politics, and there are certain congressmen, certain senators, certain governors that are key players in our political discourse today. And that was the same case back in history, 150 years ago when this was happening. But those names are kind of lost a little bit. We know Garfield's name because he's one of the presidents,
Agreed.
But honestly, would we know him if he didn't win in that primary? No, I'm sorry, in that convention. He didn't win a primary. He won in the convention. And then Chester Arthur, as a compromise for a VP pick who's a nobody, a port tax collector in New York. But as a compromise to New York, which they need all their electoral votes and need their delegates for the convention, he gets put on there by Conklin, a New York senator, as VP. And then Garfield dies, and this port collector from New York is now the president of the United States. And Conklin, because of the shadiness that he did, disappears from politics altogether, after that fact. And so that's just really interesting. Like, the name of Chester Arthur because he's a president. You may know he was a one-term president, but he basically continued Garfield's term and then didn't run again. And yes, it's really they told the story well. I think they hit the important points. I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. It's a four episode miniseries,
but it's not an overly long 4 episodes. Like each one is a little less than an hour, maybe. Right. 2 things that stuck out really big.
I binged it.
I got tired.
Once I
watched
started
2
watching
episodes at a time.
Yeah.
So 2 things that stuck out for me the most. One is when he shot in New York. Okay, and they take him into that back room.
Yep.
And the African American doctor is telling him, "Hey, you need to sterilize your stuff. You need to sterilize your stuff." And come to find out, he was right.
He was right.
And again, this is all documented things. This is not. Mm-hmm. This isn't like in today's society, we would say, "Well, that was just there for that." No. That's actually what happened.
Right.
Okay. The second thing that I kind of took away is when they put Guiteau in the car or in the stagecoach kind of police car, and his comment said, "I've just changed the course of history."
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it was the way he intended it to.
Yeah.
Like he had no idea about what Chester had, the reason why Chester was even the VP. He had no idea who Garfield really was and what he was trying to do and the internal battles within his own cabinet that were happening. I mean, heck, he almost lost the presidency just in the first month because he didn't have any support from anyone.
Right.
So it was just kind of crazy how that story, they did a very good job. I don't know who the producer of this or the executive producer was, but it was fantastic.
I don't know, but
and even if you're not into like politics,
mm-hmm.
it's a great story.
That's what I mean. You would enjoy it.
The only thing that I got to say though is I hate when they do these things and there's just graphic nudity.
Yeah.
I can't edit that out and show that at school. Like I would love for my kids to watch this.
Yeah.
Because it's a great story. There's a lot of things that you can show.
And I feel like that.
Like sometimes it's just not necessary.
I don't know where the nudity comes in is that Charles Guiteau lives for a time in a free love colony up in upstate New York.
Right.
And they show him at that free love colony and then a couple of the scenes of what goes on at a free love colony and back in the late 19th century, which I knew nothing about. I feel like, I don't know, it felt unnecessary. they already made him out to be a little bit crazy without having to show that.
Well, he was though.
He was.
He was crazy.
Right. They already they connected the dots that he's a crazy person without having to show the time he spent up at the free love clinic, the free love colony.
Yeah, I agree with
And
you
like
on
if
that.
they could just cut that out, then like you say, I could be like, hey kids, you know, you could timestamp it and cut it if you wanted to.
But then you forget about it and you're showing it in class, and then that's what pops up on the screen, and you're in trouble.
Whoopsie daisy.
You're in trouble.